Hi and welcome to Drag 101. This is episode 3. Today we're going to be talking about eyes. So, the first thing to talk about with eyes is actually a kind of preemptive, preparatory step, which is putting a lot of heavy powder on underneath where you're going to be doing the eyes. This is called baking or cooking, setting. You want to use a light powder because you've also just did all this highlighting. So if you're going to stick a light powder underneath there, then that lets that powder sit there and just kind of create a more intense highlight, which is great. And it also can sink into the wrinkles, and it does something where it makes them look less so. People use it to get rid of wrinkles, that's all I know. But basically, put a lot there. You want it to be a loose powder. You could use a pressed powder as well, just use a lot of it. And what that's going to do is when you're doing all of this eye makeup and stuff, a lot of eyeshadow is going to fall out, and it's going to fall onto your cheeks. This is called fallout. And obviously you've just done your base, so if you try and wipe this off, it's just going to ruin your base. If you have a light powder applied heavily, you will then wipe this off, and the powder will just wipe right off along with any of the eyeshadow that's just fell on top of it, so do not forget to do that. This problem is completely avoided if you do your eyes before your base, because then that means you can do your eyes, your face can be a mess, but then you just clean it up with a wipe and then put your base on. But I don't really do that, but here you can see how it worked. But I'm going to talk about my order of doing eyes. So the first thing I like to do is draw where a cut crease is going to be. What is a cut crease? I'll tell you now. A cut crease is just one type of eye contouring where you can create a eyelid on your eye. You can kind of see I've done this. I don't know if you can tell, but this is not my real eyelid. My real eyelid is somewhere where all this black is. You can kind of see the fold if you look closely. But basically what I do is I want to draw on a new eyelid, because then that makes my eye space look bigger. How would I do this? I start off with a pencil or like a shadow colour, like my contour powder or an eyeshadow or anything really, and I just draw on like a curved shape. Now you can do lots of different shapes. Sometimes I used to like start it off like, it depends where you want it to be highest. You really have to know what you're doing when you do experiment with this, because I used to do it like in my normal crease, and then for the outside it would come up, but that never really looks good, especially if you've got a really strong brow bone like me. So you really want to just consider what you're going to do. Lately I like to do a kind of more forlorn eye, because I feel like it looks maybe happier, but kind of sad. Either way, it looks like big, sorry, feminine eyes, which you can't really tell once I've done all my big ass of eyeliner, but that's how it looks at first, which is where I basically go get my eye crease and then go slightly above it. And then when it comes to the inner eye, I bring that right up almost to my eyebrow, and then that just makes my eye socket. That's what we're doing, we're drawing an eye socket. That makes my eye socket look much bigger. Once you've got a bigger eye socket, of course from a distance, we're working again with proportions. This makes your eyes look like the big area of your face, which is way more feminine, because then it makes everything else on your face look smaller. But of course, there's loads of different types of cut creases you can do. There is, for example, when I did my vampire makeup tutorial, I started my eye crease up by my eyebrow, but then rather than bring it back down into my eye, I made it carry on going upwards. You can do this also with the shape of your eye, but not come back down. This is called a floating crease, and this is where basically you draw on a cut crease and makes your eye go up. What this can do from a distance especially is it makes your whole eyes just look angled upwards. But I will talk more about that in a sec. So you do this, you draw on the eye crease firstly, and then you will start experimenting with the colours you want to use on your eye. I like to use a lot of pinks, warm colours, oranges or browns, but it really depends on the lips. There is a rule with makeup that you choose either your eyes or your lips, and you do want to consider that. I kind of did that today, but of course drag is exempt from that rule. But I say, for example, I was doing quite a dark eye, so I did quite a light coloured lip, but I also did quite a colourful lip, so I did a less colourful eye, rather than do bright pink for both. But I mean, it's fine if you have a coherent look, whatever, do what you want, but you can think about things like this. So, say another thing I like to consider is the makeup going to go on the bottom of my eye or not? I personally don't really like to put that much makeup on the bottom of my eyes because I feel like having strong dark colours on the bottom of your eye drags your eye down, whereas you want all the focus on your eyes to be up and pulling it upwards. So I also feel, maybe it's because I've got big bulgy eyes, but I also find if I do like liquid eyeliner or something or in the waterline, it just makes my eyes look like sadder or angry or something, which I don't really like the look of. I like to have a very uplifted eye, very like youthful, happy and feminine looking, which is very like top heavy. So that's why I always do eyeliner, big lashes, crease, it's all on the top. And then for the bottom I'll just do a few little details, mainly on the outside to kind of even it out. But I don't do much on the bottom to drag it down. I do like to put a little bit of shadow on the bottom of my eye, on my big bottom bulges, because I have bulgy eyes, and I think I heard, was it Tyra Banks who does that? I don't remember. You just put darker on the bottom of your eyes, not darker than the top. So say I'll put a brown on the bottom of my eyes, I'll put black on the top. So either way, the top of my eyes is always the darker bit. Of course, there's loads of different techniques you can do with your eyes. You don't have to do a cut crease, you could use your real crease. You could do a smoky eye, in which case you don't use a crease, or you might not have an eye crease, you might have like say a mono eye, which is good because then that means you could either draw a crease on and you'll have a complete like flat surface to work with, or you just won't need to bother and you could just do eyeliner, or you could just smoke it out. It really depends what you think works best. Obviously drag queens like to do this whole faux crease, cut crease thing a lot, because then you get to look like you have a bigger eye space, which is all in this game of proportions what we want. But then there is the eyelid. So once you've drawn on a crease like this, you'll have underneath that, which is the eyelid. Even if it's not actually your eyelid, like say all this, you can see this white bit, this looks like with my eyelid, it's not actually. It's probably more like my eye socket and brow bone area. Just imagine you're drawing an eye, you forget the dimensions of your actual face and just draw an eye on top of that where you want it to be. And that's basically what you do. But I like to do an eyelid to be light, because then this really shows up all of the dark details around it, so it shows up my crease and stuff. But again, it depends on the look. Sometimes if I'm not doing a cut crease, I will give myself a dark eyelid, like a smoky eye, or you could use colours. You could use a different colour in the lid to the eye, or you could use a similar version of that colour. There's loads of different things. A lot of people use blue in the eyelid. Or I also like to use glitter, because a lot of people just like a big bright white eye. And the best way to get someone to look brighter is to reflect light off it, so you can use shimmer or you can use glitter. So then after this, you will then start moving on to eyeliner, which is the big thing. So what is eyeliner? Eyeliner is basically you are telling the eye, for another person, where the top of your eye is. You are drawing the top of your eye on. Obviously there's loads of eyeliner products out there. There's pencils, gels, felts, liquids. You find out which is best for you. Basically, you want something that's dark and precise, so either a liquid or felt tip pen. But gels work, but I've never used a gel because you have to get stuff to use or something like that. But apparently gels are good, and they're very black. Pencils are good for if you're doing something smoky or natural or minimal. Or I like to use a pencil to sketch out where my eye is going to be. So once I draw out where my eyeliner is going to be, then I will draw it back on with a felt tip or something. I also find felt tips are really good because they're easy to use, much easier than say a liquid eyeliner. So since you're drawing the top of your eye, this means you don't have to, you can think, why should I stay on my actual eye? That's what I always do. I always extend my eye using the eyeliner, because what that does is it then suggests the top of my eye isn't where my actual eye is, but in fact the top of my eye starts here and goes up to here, which from a distance just makes your eye look big, makes your eye look huge. One technique I really like is extending your inner corners. So what I do is, using a black sharp product, is I will draw on my inner waterline and then I bring it further inwards towards my nose, angle it down, so then if you angle this down it makes your eyes look like they're angled upwards in general, and then that gives you a nice feline eye and also look quite like nice and feminine, I guess. And it just makes your eyes look bigger. It can also bring them closer together. So of course if you're going to do this, you probably want to do it on the outside of your eye as well, so you will like draw a wing, angle it upwards. There's loads of different types of ways to do wings. Some people like to do a wing that just goes outwards, and that can again make it look forlorn and sad, but it can just make your eye look bigger. But for the most part, you want to like look younger and youthful, so you will angle your eye upwards. So you will get the wing and draw it upwards. And if you're going to do like really dramatic makeup, sometimes you could angle everything upwards. Imagine you've got an eye angling it upwards. You could draw a wing that's almost vertical, but once you do the rest of your makeup in similar proportions, you won't even be able to tell. The same thing applies to eyebrows. So then say there's drag or just normal makeup. Are you overdrawing your eye much or not? This really matters because you want to know if you're going to do massive drag eyeliner or not. I consider right now what I've got on a little bit in between, but for the most part this is massive. My eyeliner probably covers like 2 times the space of my actual eyelid, where I just draw like a giant black triangle that comes all the way to my temple and then back down diagonally, almost in a perfect line, and then just colour it all in black. And then that becomes the top of your eye, which when you wear big eyelashes, it just kind of works, doesn't it? But if you want to do smaller eyeliner, that is also a thing you can do. So you could do just a very minimal wing, just to add more attention to the top of your eye, or you might not even do a wing at all. You could just line the top of your eye and just make the top of your eye look black and use your real eye shape. You could even do the bottoms if you want. I personally don't like to, but you can. Sometimes I will sketch out my eyeliner before I do the shadowing, so even before I draw my crease and stuff, because the eyeliner can sometimes be the big, like, dominant part of my makeup. So if I was to say draw on my eye shadow, my crease and stuff, and I might think, oh, that looks pretty big, then I'll draw on a giant eyeliner flick. Suddenly the rest of the makeup won't look that big anymore. So sometimes, since I can't really think too much about like planning ahead, like I can't envision it that well, what I will do is I will like suggest where my eyeliner is going to go first with a nude pencil or something, and I will draw on like the outline of my eyeliner, not colour it in yet, and then once I've got that on, then I work around that. It's all working with proportions. So there's wings and flicks versus smoky eyes. So if you got a smoky eye, you eliminate all of this kind of wing issue because you just get a black or any colour and then just smoke it out from your eye, and that also can look really good. It really depends on the look and the concept you're going for and the look you're going for, or whatever suits you. Then there's using eyeliner in the crease. So I've got drawn on this really dramatic crease line, but sometimes I want it to show up even more. So what I'll do is I'll take a black and just go along the very edge of it, which can look quite cartoony and illustrative, but sometimes I like that. Sometimes I like to look like an illustration. And another thing to consider is also with overdrawing the eyes. Are you going to be covering your whole eyelid or not? This depends on the kind of eyelid you have. For example, I have a really big eyelid, so I don't necessarily need to cover my eyelid, but then at the same time I've got a very prominent crease naturally, so I like to cover the whole thing in black so you just can't see it, and then I can just draw a new crease on way above that. This also works though if you have like hooded eyes, mono eyes, or small eyelids. Then what you can do is you can just cover the whole area in black. So then what this does is that means when your eye is open, you'll still see all that makeup, all the makeup will still be there. Whereas say with if you just use your real eyelid, once you open your eye you won't see any of it. So that's why if you just cover the whole eyelid in black and pretend that is the top of your eye, draw a new eyelid on top of that and draw your eyebrows a bit higher, you've got this whole artistry of eye makeup that doesn't even go when you open your eye, which is cool. Other things to consider with eyeliner is lightening and making your eyes look maybe naturally. So say some natural things you can do is you focus the light colours on the inner corners or the bottom waterline. These are very subtle things you can do even in day to day just to make your eyes look like naturally bigger and like they're popping. And that is a word that gets used a lot in makeup tutorials, is popping. But also there are times when no eyeliner can look good as well. I've even done a couple of drag looks where no eyeliner look good. If you don't use eyeliner, it makes your eyelashes look much more prominent. If the look calls for it, you could do a very strong mascara instead, or just use lots of colours. But you know, there's loads of different things you can do, and I would suggest trying a lot of them. Some people look better without eyeliner actually because they could have nice eyes. If you're going for a natural look, say if you're someone who's into, say, cross-dressing or something but not drag, you probably will just want to do like a natural light-scape base on your eyelid and then just wear mascara. But because eyeliner can look good, but I find if I'm doing a more androgynous look, I look better without eyeliner, because once I put the eyeliner on, my eye just looks dark and I just look like I've got these dark eyes, which can look kind of mean or masculine, I find, unless I'm doing full drag makeup, in which case then it's fine, because of proportions. So then there's mascara, which I just talked about, which is basically you put that on your eyelashes and it makes your eyelashes look black. There's also brow mascara if you're, say, blonde and you want to make your eyes look darker but not unnaturally black. You can also wear mascara just on the tips of your eyelashes, and what that does is, again, it makes them look darker but more naturally so. Then there's the big world of false lashes. When you're doing drag, you want to have big eyelashes. What false lashes do is they just make your eyelashes look bigger, make your eye look bigger, and it makes the whole look coherent, especially if you're doing something with giant eyeliner and stuff. Like this look didn't look half as good until I had this these big eyelashes on. So you can get large lashes, you can get smaller lashes, you can get giant drag lashes, or you can get individual mini lashes. Sometimes you could wear no lashes, sometimes I get lazy and I just don't want to wear eyelashes, but then every time I wear lashes I realise, wow, this really does make a good difference. But then there's also mascara. If you're going to wear, it depends on the look, but if you're doing like giant like stage makeup, you might not want to wear mascara because you're going to have these big eyelashes on. You're not even going to see your real eyelashes, so there's no point in putting mascara on, because at that point all mascara does is it makes your makeup harder to take off. And I'd say mascara is one of the worst parts of taking makeup off because it just becomes black, it just smudges all over your face and turns your face grey. Anyway, that was episode 3 of Drag 101. That was all about eyes. I hope you learned something, I hope you liked it, and I hope you're looking forward to the next episode, which is going to be all about lips. So in the meantime, check out my other videos, check out the rest of the series, share it around, and subscribe if you haven't. I hope you have. Other than that, thanks. Bye.